What's up, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jonah White. I'm an independent apocalyptic author. I'm also self-published in the Shadows of Darkness series. My first book released back in August of 2020, so not the best of years to be releasing, but it's released right now. So today I'm going to be talking about a few free and simple marketing strategies that you could be doing leading up to your book's release, whether it's this year or down the road, or if you're launching a series and you're trying to find out figure out some free and easy marketing strategies that don't cost you hundreds of dollars in order to go down that path. So I'm going to be also talking about a couple different marketing strategies that may cost you money that I would say isn't really worth your time or money, because for me, I've seen a lot of authors do these strategies, and I'm gonna just let you know, don't go down that path. It's really not worth your money. Instead, let's focus more on these free and simple strategies for marketing your book. If you haven't known already, I'm releasing my second book in my Shadows of Darkness series. It's called Remnants of Resistance, and that is book 2 of my Shadows of Darkness series. It's going to be releasing hopefully this summer of 2021. And if you want to learn more information about that, or get some perks or rewards or early information regarding that book, feel free to subscribe for free at www.jonahwauthor.com. If you subscribe today, you'll get access to a free short story that takes place within this universe, and it kind of gives you a little bit more depth and backstory to the main character of both the Shadows of Darkness books that will be coming out. But without further ado, let's get on with this video. Okay, so the first tip I'm going to be talking about is really just share and spread the word with your friends and immediate family, as well as friends. But the thing is, you want to make sure that you kind of make sure you focus on the right type of crowds, because if you're just marketing heavily on your close relatives like cousins or aunts or anything like that, that's fine and good, but they may not be the best audience to be focusing 90% of your time with, because yes, they may be loyal and buy your books, but the thing is, if a lot of them aren't readers or anything, or they're just going to buy your book in order to support you and not really read it or really spread the word about your book because they don't know who to spread the word to, because they're not readers or anything like that, or they're not serious into literature and all that, you may not want to put all your focus into that. If they're loyal and are going to buy your books, that's fine. All you need to do is just tell them about your book and remind them, and they'll possibly just buy it, which is pretty nice. But the thing is, that's a short-term success. You want to focus your time on an audience, building an audience that's going to last you much time down the road. And this is going to really help if you're working on a series and you're planning on rapid releasing or anything. You want to really steer your attention towards a dedicated core of readers and a reader base that's within your genre or your market, your targeted market. Because suppose you were to release 10 different books within a few short years. Let's say someone like me, I have some college friends, but I'm not going to be targeting most of my marketing towards them, because a lot of them are going to be graduating from college and just starting up a new life, getting new jobs. They're not going to be able to afford 10 or 30 different books are going to be releasing within the next 5 years. So I won't really focus my attention on them. Plus, they're not readers or anything. They may buy my first book to help support me, but they're not long-term buyers. So I wouldn't focus all my attention on them. I would just make a few posts directed towards them and just remind them that my book's coming out, but I wouldn't focus all my time about it. So you really, with this first tip, you really want to budget your time when it comes to marketing towards certain audiences. Focus on hardcore readers, and not to mention people that are within your market. So the second tip I would like to talk about, and this is more of a tedious process, but I think it's worth it, is to search on social media and everything. You can do Google searches and find blogs or self-published authors that do blogs and reviews, and reach out to them and see if they would like to do interviews with them or set up blog tours with you leading up to your book's release. Now this is going to help, because this can help you branch out to many more demographics, but make sure that you're reaching out to bloggers or reviewers that fit your market or the genre of your book. Otherwise, you're just wasting your time if you're reaching out to someone that doesn't have an interest in a genre that you're working with. And plus, if they do accept, you're going to be trying to get through like a large roadblock of like trying to appeal to an audience that's not really used to a genre that you're trying to offer. And this could lead to like bad negative reviews, because if they buy your book and they're not interested in that genre, they may leave a negative review. And second, obviously you're just wasting your time, and that's not going to really be as fruitful. It could work for a very minority of those people, but I would not take the chance of like trying to tap into markets that don't suit, that do not fit like your book that you're writing. So another tip I would like to talk about is obviously set up a website and get active on like Facebook or like Instagram, and like really like try to like lure people towards your website and build like that mailing list or that subscriber list. Because suppose something happens to like your social media platforms, like it gets hacked or you lose it or something ever were to happen, all those contacts are gone and you have to restart over again, and that takes time, and like that's not a good thing that you want to be faced with. Whereas if you have like sort of like a subscription list or an email campaign list on your website, this list will tend to like last you forever, and these are more dedicated like subscribers or followers because they signed up because you're offering like perks, which we'll get to in a little bit, but also like they're there because they know what product you're selling and they're interested, and they're like there to like get firsthand information on some news that you may be providing. Speaking of which, you have to like, another tip is you have to focus on building that subscriber list, because if this is more of a permanent subscriber list, you need to like add perks like giveaways to attract people towards subscribing, because they're not just going to subscribe just because you write books and you may say, well, subscribe if you want to hear more information about my upcoming books. That's good, but you need more than that to like attract more subscribers. Maybe you can like write short stories on the side in relations to your books. That way you kind of like give away some free short stories to people maybe every few months or something like that. That way you could attract people to your subscribers list on your website, because you could say something like, kind of like what I say is like, if you subscribe today to my author site, you'll get the James Janus short story like for free once you subscribe. So that's a way you can like attract people to subscribing to your author site, and that way they could be part of your email campaign. That way when you do release more information about your books, they're actually there, and then you could actually have a chance of like reaching out to them and marketing to them. Okay, so one final tip I would like to talk about when it comes to marketing, and I'll add a bonus one because I just thought of one right now, but we'll get to that. And that is to join Facebook groups and join like maybe review groups or writers groups on social media, primarily like Facebook or Instagram. So go to ones that like encourage or allow promoting your book or some of your material, because this is a nice way to like introduce your work or get it exposed to additional readers. Now remember, when it comes to marketing, you're not trying to be a salesman and trying to force people or trying to convince people personally to buy your book. When it comes to marketing, the main point of it is exposure. You're trying to get your book noticed and have it exposed. The more people you can get your book exposed to and let people know that it exists, the better chances you have at getting people to read it. Because if you're trying to like, for example, like just email people personally and just say, hey, I have this book, like would you like to buy it or anything, it's going to be a bit more of a turn off than it is like appealing. But what about when it comes to those Facebook groups that are like really good, you've been a part of it for a while, and they don't promote or they don't allow you to promote your source material? What you can do is try to work around this. So what you can do is just post a picture of yourself with your holding up your book or your newly released book and just say, hey guys, maybe you could add as a disclaimer like, this is not for promotion, but I really want to celebrate today because I am holding this book because this is the official launch day of my debut novel. And if people see the cover and it looks very appealing, or the name, the title is really attractive, you're getting your book exposed. So now they know that this book exists. So maybe you get a few people that are interested and curious to check out this book, and you can say something like, "It's available. I just released it on Amazon and everything. Things are going great." You're not promoting your book. Remember that. So don't add things that are like clearly telling your readers to buy your book. But what you're doing is just saying that this book has been released, and you're just exposing your book. You're not promoting it. So this is a way you can kind of get around those like rules of like self-promotion and everything like that. Just remember, keep the post about exposing your book. If you expose it, you can like attract people, or like light a spark in some people's heads towards buying your book. You're not posting this to convince people to buy your book. What you're doing is trying to expose it. That way you can potentially get new readers and buyers for your book. But how do you ensure that your marketing is successful in these small groups? Well, that's simple. Just make sure you're engaged in this group. Constantly post maybe every few days in these groups. Be engaging, offer tips or anything like that, and be useful in this group. Don't just post whenever you're trying to like sell something or promote something, because then obviously people are going to like see right through your actions that you're only in this group just to promote or sell. They don't see you doing anything else. You're not offering anyone anything. You're not contributing to this group. So don't do that, because people are going to see right through that. Okay, so here's a few things that I would say don't do when it comes to marketing, especially if you're a first-time debut author. So what I would say is, don't pay for reviews, like something sort of like Kirkus reviews or something like that. I would say don't really focus on that, because yes, you're paying for like one good review from like a pretty well-known reviewer group, but I wouldn't say it's worth it, because I don't think that this just automatically just attracts readers towards your book. It's like, well, they got a review from this person, so maybe I should just buy this book. It doesn't really work that way. If it does, it's a very, very small minority, and I would not say the chances are very good where you need to go down this path. Because if you want to do it because you have money to spare, I would say go for it. If you want like the title that you have an official review by Kirkus Reviews, go for it. But if you're like trying to like balance out your money and really budget, I would say don't go down this path. Another thing I would say is buying ads or like promoting your post on social media. If you don't have a budget for this, or you don't have the money for this, I would say don't really go down this path. It's not going to help that much, because I've experimented with this with my first book, and I didn't see that much results from doing this. Yes, it made my like ratio go up tremendously for my posts, but like I didn't really see that much value in promoting posts on social media. So I would say if you don't have the money to spare, or you're working on a very tight budget, I would say you don't have to worry about promoting your post every single time. Okay, so that's going to conclude this video. I hope this is very helpful. I'm going to be getting back on like analyzing like Act 2 and Act 3 of your novel to show like and provide you some tips on what you should be doing to write a compelling and page-turning Act 2 and Act 3, as well as I'm going to be posting a couple more videos based on my Camp NaNoWriMo process. Did I make it? My goals? Am I about to like finish my spin-off book? Well, that's going to be saved for those videos. I'm going to be posting some updates in regards to that, and offer some tips and some learning experiences I encountered during this process, and offer you some tips on how to like successfully get through and accomplish your goals on the next Camp NaNoWriMo month. But without further ado, I'll see you guys next time, and happy writing. Good night.